What's up traders, Red here with another trading update. Before I jump into today's update, if you like these daily recaps where I go over my trades and talk through what actually happened day to day, go ahead and like the video for the algorithm and subscribe so other traders like you can find me. Let me start with the weekly P&L this week because that's the part everyone cares about. And honestly, it's what's been messing with my head today. I'm actually up $1,088.82 this week, which is objectively amazing, especially considering that I didn't trade at all on Wednesday, Thursday, or today. 3 trade days in a row and still ending the week up $1,000 should feel like a win. And normally I would take that without even thinking twice, but for some reason I just feel kind of blah about it. And I know exactly why. It's the way this week felt, not what the numbers actually show. The wins happened early in the week, and then the rest of the week was basically me watching the market move without me in it. And even though the correct decision was not to take those trades, it just creates this weird emotional disconnect where the P&L says, good job. But the feeling says, did you even do anything this week? It's that negative recency bias hitting hard. And even though I can logically rearrange the days in my head and pretend those early wins happened on, let's say, Thursday and today, it still feels strange right now. As for the deleveraging plan I talked about last Friday in this video, I'll link it in the description. I haven't even needed to test my new personal daily loss limit because I haven't come close to getting into one of those situations where I'd risk potential 3 losses in a row. But even just making that mental change in my head has been comforting. I feel like it feels more structured. It feels like there's a support underneath me now instead of this open pit of like, maybe I can just make it back if I just take one more trade. And also I lowered my Lucid account from 2 contracts down to 1 mini contract. And of course, the moment I do that, the wins start showing up again. And a part of me definitely feels the FOMO because let's be honest, when I was losing money with 2 contracts. And now things are stabilizing. I'm only winning with 1, which means it'll take twice as long to make it back. And that part's pretty frustrating, but I'm sticking to the de-risking plan, at least until I build a real buffer. And even though it might sound small, going down to 1 contract has genuinely made the losses feel less mentally draining. You think that shouldn't really matter, but it really does in terms of your mental capacity when you're trying to trade. But I want to be clear, this video isn't me just coming up with a random psychology topic just because there was no trade today. I actually feel this negative recency bias pretty strongly right now. I feel unsatisfied with the week, even though the week was good on paper. Because on any other week, if you told me you're going to finish with $1,000 in profit while barely trading, I would think that's incredible. But that's the difference between the idea of trading and the lived experience of trading. It's not always about the dopamine of wins or the frustration of the losses. It's the quiet weeks that kind of you don't expect. It's also those weird stretches where the market is moving a lot, but your plan says to stay out. It's also the frustrating moments when your internet cuts out and you can't even trade, even if you want to. It's all these tiny little things that never show up on a P&L statement, but somehow take up the most mental space. And you don't really understand that part of trading until you're actually in the trenches every single day dealing with them constantly. And this week was exactly one of those like in-between weeks where nothing dramatic happened, nothing fell apart, but nothing incredible happened either. But your brain still tries to convince you that something is wrong just because in the past couple of days things were quiet. It's almost like your mind is begging for a storyline when there isn't one. And instead of letting you just accept the results for what they are, it like hyper focuses you on nothingness, which somehow feels worse than losing sometimes. It's weird. It's strange how the human brain will ignore the fact that the week is green, but still go like, yeah, but what did you do today? As if like showing discipline and doing nothing isn't doing something, right? And I think that's where the real battle is for traders. Not the wins or losses, not the strategy or the entries, but the mental gymnastics you have to do to stay grounded when your emotions like want some sort of a narrative that simply isn't there. I feel like quiet days will still mess with you in ways that losing days don't. At least with the loss, you have something to point or something to blame. But quiet days don't really give you that kind of a closure. They just sit with you and you think about it a lot. So I know I shouldn't feel this way, and I know that at the end of the day, I had a good week. I'm just being transparent because I think it's important to show all sides of trading, even when the feelings don't match the results. I might be just taking things for granted today, but it's fine. We move on. But anyway, I'm really glad I seem to be stabilizing after de-risking last week, and now I'm just a little nervous to see how next week's gonna go because it's Thanksgiving week. I don't know if the market is gonna completely die or turn into chopped salad, but whatever happens, we'll take it one day at a time and follow the plan. If you've been finding value in these daily updates and you want to keep following the ups and downs with me in real time, go ahead and like the video and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Thank you guys for watching. I hope your week ended well. Have a great weekend, and then I'll see you guys on Monday. And live stream as always in the morning at New York Open on Monday. This has been Red, signing out. Peace.